The PC Engine is quickly becoming one of my favourite games consoles, and this video is a quick look at my slowly growing collection. When I visited Japan in 2019, I naturally wanted to get a new console for my collection from the awesome retro shops there. A Neo Geo AES would have been the iconic choice, but I've played those games a lot in the arcade already. Famicoms are available everywhere, but it wasn't different enough, so I settled on a PC Engine, produced by NEC and designed by Hudson Soft, and I'm really happy I did. It was small, affordable, and I knew well enough that it had a library of excellent arcade ports and arcade-style games, my favourites. There's loads of hardware combinations available, and I went for the standard PC Engine, a CD-ROM attachment, and the interface unit to connect the two. This meant I could play the HuCard games and CD games. My PC Engine came with a normal 2-button controller, and I also got a core graphics pad that has turbo buttons, and an Avenue Pad 6, a 6-button controller that's perfect for Street Fighter 2. I also got a 3-port multi-tap since the PC Engine only has one controller port. And finally, when I got home I ordered an adapter for the serial port on the back of the console, and this means I can play and capture RGB SCART using a Mega Drive SCART lead. But I'm still limited to composite from the interface unit when playing CD games. I'll show you the games that I have, and please let me know what you think I should play next in the comments. I already knew that RType was a flagship game for the PC Engine, so it's one of the first titles I looked for. I played it a few times in Akihabara as I hadn't touched it since I was a kid, and this PC Engine port feels so close to the original it's incredible. The game screen has to scroll a bit and there's obviously some cutbacks, but this feels close enough to the arcade that I don't think I would have cared when it released. Scrolling shooters are something I've only recently got into, so I'm still not great at getting through them. RType is something I'm going to stick at though, as it's a great version of a classic game. Any regulars to my channel will know that I love arcade ports, especially Sega ones, and digging around the shops I found that 5 Superscaler ports were released on the PC Engine. I made a full video as part of my Superscaler series, so watch that for a more in-depth look at how these games perform. Overall, the PC Engine is a pretty good place to play Sega arcade games of the time. There are some other Sega ports like Shinobi and Fantasy Zone 2 that I want to get, so it seems like Sega supported the PC Engine pretty well, while its own consoles were struggling in Japan. One of my favourite multiplayer series ever is Hudson Soft's Bomberman, and so I had to get it on the PC Engine, given their involvement with the console. I went for the last one on the system, Bomberman 94, and to my surprise it was almost the same game as I played as a kid, Mega Bomberman on the Mega Drive. After doing some reading I found out that the Mega Drive game is indeed a port of the PC Engine, Bomberman 94. Almost the same, but the biggest difference is the 94 allows 5 players in the multiplayer mode. This is not only a great Bomberman game, but it's also a fantastic example of just how close the PC Engine could look graphics wise to the Mega Drive and SNES. It's a fantastic looking game. A little bit of research told me that I had to try one of the Soldier series of scrolling shooters, so I went for the first one released on PC Engine, Superstar Soldier, as it was the cheapest I could find. This is a fantastic looking, sounding and playing game, and like RType has ignited my new interest in the genre. This has a great weapon power system that's colour coded and tiered, which gives you a lot of options and freedom as you play. And again here I feel that the PC Engine is standing right on a level with the SNES and Mega Drive in terms of performance. I can get a few levels into this, but I will dedicate some time so that I can do a full playthrough of Superstar Soldier. Alien Crush and Devil's Crush are 2 legendary pinball games that I'd known about for years. I found them both as loose HuCards, so I picked them up, but I am just awful at these games. I can tell that they're both well designed with great production values, and there's clearly enough content here with all the extra tables to find, but something about these games just doesn't click for me, and I think there's some lag in the controls. Either that or I'm just bad at these games. Either way, I think I'll leave these 2 for now and come back at a later date. Hopefully a fresh perspective will allow me to see what's made these games such classics. The last HuCard game I got was Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, and I really think this is now my favourite version of Street Fighter 2. It looks incredible, and again stands right next to the SNES and Mega Drive for me. I also love the Avenue 6 pad for this game, and I feel as comfortable playing Street Fighter 2 on PC Engine as I do playing Fighters on the Saturn with its fantastic controller. There's not much else to say about Street Fighter 2 on the PC Engine, but this is the version of Street Fighter 2 I will now play above all others. In order to make things a bit more affordable for now, when I returned home I ordered some reproduction PC Engine CD games, and the first I got was Valis. I didn't know much about it apart from recognising the name, so it was a bit of an impulse purchase. It's an action platformer that kind of reminds me of the 90s Power Rangers TV show, in terms of style and enemy design. I haven't played it much, but I like the animation and it's got a great soundtrack. One day I'll commit some time and try to play right through it, but I've got other PC Engine games to spend more time on first. Gator Thunder might be the best looking game I've played on the PC Engine so far. This would look great no matter what 16-bit system it released on, and the intense soundtrack is just fantastic. I've spent more time with the scrolling shooters R-Type and Superstar Soldier so far, so I haven't really given Gator Thunder the time it deserves. When I do though, I know I'm going to enjoy it, and probably find it a real challenge too. As a massive Castlevania fan, I had to get Rondo of Blood. I was surprised at how many of the sprites and animations I recognised from playing Symphony of the Night so much. I knew that that game was a sequel to Rondo, but I hadn't known how much it was built upon the design of this game. Being very familiar with Super Castlevania 4, I find the control in this game quite restrictive and it's a lot tougher overall, but it's still a classic Castlevania game. I can get about halfway through so far, but I'm sticking with this until it's complete. It looks and sounds fantastic, and really is one of the best games I've played on the system so far. Finally, when I found out that the RType Hue card was only the first half of the game, I had to pick up RType Complete. It's the full game with a new CD soundtrack and lots of animated cutscenes. It's still just RType, but I love the new music, and this is my preferred way to play the game. Ironically, I still can only get about halfway through the game, as I'm still very much learning how to play scrolling shooters. But it is a fantastic game, and RType in general is a real showpiece for the PC Engine. So that's my PC Engine collection so far. Thank you for watching, and please let me know what you think I should play next. I love this console, and it really does stand right next to the Mega Drive and SNES as a retro classic. Until the next time, happy gaming.